floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless. Burning the bridge that keeps us. I'm here and I'm feeling fearless. Exaggerated, that's what you assume. The story's over now, I must conclude. I am conflicted, watching where I step still, hanging in the balance. Not the life I want to live, I want to take it all. Standing tall, fear I've weighed the person you are. Oh, break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless.
What do you do with the Bitcoin besides it just gather value?
Real estate developers in New York City, they're not buying the real estate because they want to live in it.
But like most of the people who are buying assets at some point want to sell the assets at a profit.
People that use fiat currency as a store of value, we call them poor. We call them poor. People that use fiat currency, we call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. There's a name for them. We call them poor. We call them poor. Okay? Right, like, the point is, if you have the superior asset, it's going up forever, Laura. Forever.
Right, but I mean, we can all look Bitcoin sort of as...
Forever, Laura. People that use fiat currency as a store of value, we call them poor. We call them poor. People that use fiat currency, we call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. There's a name for them. We call them poor.
With time, a seed becomes a tree, sheltering us. With time, a skill becomes a talent, empowering us. With time, a technology becomes a tool, enhancing us. By nature, time gives value to almost everything, yet the very thing our society gives value to, our money, loses value over time. This paradox warps our reality by defying the laws of nature, and it stems from the belief that $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow. Meaning money must always lose value. We built our reality off of this model. Time value of money, we call it, but in reality, this is just dogma. Since we can keep making more of it, we end up destroying our own purchasing power. So we put it in stocks, put it in bonds, put it in land, put it in funds, put it in crypto, put it in gold. But we are not oracles, so what do we know? We know that it's hard to get by. We know some people may never retire. Is time value of money a lie since it discounts the monetary value of our time? If time is money, how are they moving in different directions? We're working longer for less, we end up just giving away our freedom. Give up liberty for policies, give up our agency to the authorities. Because when our foundation is built on complexity, we simplify humans by giving up our humanity. Reality check, we've strayed too far from the truth. The world economy's a wreck when 1 + 1 no longer equals to 2. And if life's created from the truth, along the way something got screwed. And we let our own dogma subjectify value. We divorce action from consequence. We defy the law of physics when we make scarcity infinite. We disregard the language of mathematics. So our systems are built in a fallacy. Our society's based in a fantasy. In the absence of truth, we're living in the shadows of our own reality. And that's the root problem. Man-made rules can be broken. As our trust crumbles, so does the progress of our civilization. But one thing remains constant: no one can cheat nature. So why not use it to architect a stronger base layer? The most beautiful buildings engineered based on these consequences. Natural law drives rigor needed to build something enduring, uncompromising on principles that accounts for the flaws. Because when our lives are at stake, the gravity of truth cannot be ignored. So if our monetary systems were designed like structures, it would embody energy and matter, so the money itself matters. An unbreakable limit enforced by costliness of creation ensures the structure holds value for many generations. A rule-based system, governed by maths, builds a transparent ecosystem that can self-error correct. With no one in charge, no words are taken as fact. Only work from computation can actualize truth of timestamps, and like water flowing off a cliff down the path of gravity, computational energy makes time flow one way only. It is this irreversibility which gives value to our money by upholding consensus and scarcity to create one shared reality. Now the map is the territory. Now we're working with high fidelity. Now money is truthfully time and energy bound by finality. Now we have the ability to manifest each of our dreams and build a world that is much more reflective of all of our needs. And that's the purpose of money, merely a tool to shape our reality, merely a function to harness and express individuality, just a way to live freely, just a means for possibility. Because when we build on integrity, we enhance the beauty of humanity. The most beautiful societies are built from diversity of our thoughts that come to life when we're empowered individually. Because when our money tomorrow is worth more than today, we shift from predicting to creating the future ourselves. And when our money grows in value, we grow thoughtful in how we use it. Natural law drives rigor needed to fund something enduring, something truly worth it, something that pushes the sky's limit, something only possible when our real value and consequence exists in boundless virtual dimensions. Imagine potential creation, fueled by monetary life force, lasting for many generations. We will venture into new territories and unleash these possibilities once we learn to embrace the truth of our reality.
Hello, how's everybody doing today? Hopefully really good. Hopefully we can liven up the chat here. So, today was a good day. I think I'm up almost $100,000. It's probably like in the 90s maybe, between all the accounts. That makes over 400,000 in 2 days, and I call that a win, especially after what happened yesterday. Yesterday's market close was just insane. The Fed has made it very clear that they want a soft landing. I think if people don't understand that, they need to start. All right, winners for today. PayPal, loving that. Let's see which options did the best. Whether it's 2026, they're about even. 2025 and 2026, running neck and neck at the 7.5% range. For roughly a little over 3x what the underlying is doing, but I expect that pace to pick up a lot if we continue to get upside momentum, and I do think that's happening. MicroStrategy was great again today, up 4% on a day when Bitcoin isn't doing too well. So best ETF ever. If you think of it as that, you're going to prosper. SoFi up today, 0.81%, but the underlying options are up 4.17. That's a pretty good sign. That's an almost 5x the underlying. It shows that usually options move first, from my experience. And so when you see the options starting to get pumped, you kind of know that the price is going to start coming too. All right, Hood up again. Hood is just ridiculous. It's just stupid. Up over 500% right now. That number will probably grow a lot if we keep doing what we're doing with Hood. Cypher mining has been one of my better plays. It just keeps going up. It's up 62%. Bitfarms is definitely underperforming versus Cypher, but there is something to be noted that Bitfarms has 724 million for a cap, and Cypher right now, I don't know what they're sitting at. They're sitting at 1.43. So it's almost double the market cap now. So I'm expecting eventually here we'll start to see some Bitfarms pump as well as money flows into all this stuff. Even the shittiest of miners prosper during an upcycle, and we're going to see an upcycle. The only thing that did bad today, really, was Tesla, and I'm happy about that. I actually did buy a couple of contracts for 2026 here. Let me see. I think like 2 more of these I got. That's literally all I did today, and about at this price level. So I'm hoping to lose a lot more. I've only got, between both of my accounts, I've only got about 275,000 or 280 or something in Tesla calls for June 2026, which gives me over 2 years to hit 330. And I think we're going to be well beyond that in 2.5 years from now. I think we're going to be well beyond that, or 2.25. That's probably a more accurate statement. Anyway, the rest of this, portfolio stuff. Altcoins haven't done super great in the last week. It's kind of treading water again. We had that big drop, and now they're starting to go up. Today, Solana, it says up 7%. I don't know when they cut this off for Coinbase. Nothing really crazy. It looks like Stacks is going up. That's one of them. But nothing too exciting here. It is starting to come back, which is nice, but I don't know. I prefer Bitcoin to go up at this current juncture. I did update my portfolio allocations for the people that care. And then I'm going to start throwing, I'll probably put this in the top image right when I post it. I'm just going to put in my spreadsheet that I update. I have to update this thing manually because the combination of 10 plus accounts and then on different platforms and then options contracts and stuff, it just makes it so impossible to track the portfolio allocation accurately, which is why I only really update it once a week right now. It's just too much overhead. But I will throw in the underlying information too, so you guys can see the contracts and just see what it makes up. So you guys will have that. And I love this. Thank you, Drunk Donkey, who's probably in chat right now. If you guys want to, you can feel free to print off the micro to macro bingo cards. And it looks pretty good here, and it looks pretty accurate. I'm pretty sure I say almost all this stuff during a given day. So that's pretty cool. Here, let me do this too. I'll enlarge this to make it a little easier to see. All right. So a lot of economic data. We'll talk to that in a little bit here. I do want to go through it, though, because there's a lot of good stuff in there. I just wanted to point out that June right now is still sitting at 71% likelihood of at least a 25 BIP lowering of rates, which is beautiful. Markets are forward looking. They usually like to look out maybe 60, 90 days. That puts us towards that rate lowering, which is why everybody's so happy. No bingos yet, man. I haven't went through the full list yet. Don't fuck with me, Chris. It's going to take a little bit longer. You probably got at least be here for 30, 45 minutes, I'm thinking. All right, so I did want to point out this chart real quick. So Apple Apple down 4.26 today. Yeah, thanks, Drunk Donkey. That really did make my day. I love that. I thought that was fucking hilarious. So anyway, but Apple down 4.26 today, and then you can see, I don't know what ACN is. I don't really follow it. A censure pick, whatever that is. But Apple really getting hit. I don't know that they just had so many misses lately. So many misses. I think the $3,500 headset is arguably interesting, but maybe not very marketable when compared to like a MetaQuest that costs like, I don't know, 13% the price. So there's so many other losses. They're leaning into China. I don't think that's the right move. There's just so many things that aren't working well for Apple. They're not really involved in the AI movement. Anyway, they're just like the only group not winning in this list right now. And again, these aren't final numbers for the day. It's probably going to land somewhere else. But I just find that interesting. All right, so on the day, S&P up 0.32%. A little bit of a gap formed here. That's interesting. And then NASDAQ up 0.44%, so a little bit better than the S&P. And then the Russell up 1.14%. This is what I was talking about yesterday, guys. Yeah, the bingo card. You guys are great. This is what I was talking about yesterday. We want to see each market that has a higher level of risk, smaller cap, going up at a more aggressive pace than the other ones. So the S&P should be moving a little, and then the NASDAQ should be moving a little more, and then the small caps, the Russell, should be moving a little bit more than that. And that's what we're seeing. And this is the kind of market that I love because it's the one that people prosper in the most. And even just these slow days where we grind higher. I don't know about you guys, but I'll take $100,000 in a day or something close to that. Doesn't bother me a bit. So that could just keep happening. It happened tomorrow, happen Monday. Just keep happening. I'm cool with it. And what's amazing about today is the dollar is up 0.63%. This is actually a pretty heavy move. On a normal day, this would have hurt the market, but that is not what we're seeing right now. And then let me just throw this up over here too. So oil continues its retraction down another 0.5%. Jesse, did you close your position tomorrow? No, I got like $9,000 in it, but I mean, that's like dust. So I don't really have one. I just don't like the company. They're not responsive. I question sometimes their ethics and what's going on. I don't like that their Mara pool is still showing a fraction of the mining equipment energized. I just don't know what's going on with this company ever. I never understand what's happening with this company. And so I'm out. I'd rather be in CleanSpark. I'd rather be in Cypher. I'd rather be in Bitfarms. But all right, jumping back over here. Oil. Down 0.5%. I still think that this is a nice clean bear flag and that we're going to be breaking down out of this. And my targets have us in the mid 60s. So for all you oil bulls, if I'm right, you're not going to like it. All right, the MOVE Index. I love talking about this one because nobody talks about this one. But we broke down out of the head and shoulders that I was talking about. And I predicted that as we break down out of this, we'll start to see a strong rally with each leg down. And we had a really strong one yesterday. And I don't know if you noticed the markets, but they did really well. And one of the things I want to point out, so this is the bond volatility index. This is like the VIX. The VIX is the volatility index for stocks. When the volatility is low, it generally means the direction for stocks is up. Thank you, Hardik, for becoming an alpha member, man. Appreciate it. And you could see this represented if you look at 2008, the peak of the decline of the banking crisis, of the great financial crisis. And I mean, most people don't know much more before this, or the .com at the very oldest. But this was a big deal, and the bond index peaked right near the bottom of the stock market. And then in 2020, April 2020, kind of March 2020, when we were at peak fear about lockdowns for COVID, the bond volatility index peaked. And then in the banking crisis of March 2023, when everybody thought all the banks were going to collapse and we had to do the BTFP program, the Bank Term Funding Program, it peaked. And gosh, now this looks like a clear breakdown. And as it's breaking down, we just happen to see the markets going up. And you know what it screams of? It screams that it's going to be okay. Just like what Jerome Powell is saying, at least for a while, right? We can reassess as we make a bunch of money. Hey, Jesse, time for market recap. Need to rest and X for a bit. BTC went down again today. I don't know why people always sell their Bitcoin to BlackRock. That's a really good fucking question. I don't know why they do either, bro, but they do. So let me hop over here. Something fell out there, but I'm thinking it's just my daughter breaking shit, so we're probably okay. Nobody's screaming. All right, moving on here. So the MOVE Index, interesting. Volatility for bonds down. That seems to be benefiting everything else, which we love. And thank you for the tip, too, Motive Day. I appreciate that, my friend. Very nice. I should acknowledge that, I suppose. All right, here we go. Let's get into the economic data. I might try and zoom in a little bit. So current account deficit got better. Cool. Don't need to look too closely at that. Initial jobless claims are boring. Philly Fed manufacturing index. So jobs data, a lot of that stuff hasn't changed. So the Philly Fed, again, the index showing a green, showing expansion, and we like that. Now, it says actual 3.2 for March. Consensus was negative 2.3. Forecast was negative 4. So they're saying that this is doing a lot better than anticipated. And I think that means something. Continuing jobless claims, boring. Again, I can click into some of these, but there's just not a clear trend of danger yet. You can't really go past like 3. You can even go to 3 years, kind of. But again, this is just boring. There's nothing here to look at. This is nothing interesting. And again, I don't know. We got a lot of migration going on, and a lot of reasons why I don't think jobs are a concern at all, between retirements and people coming in to fill jobs. I don't know. I don't see a lot of issues with that. I think people that think that that's going to just tick up and we're going to see a catastrophe anytime soon are insane and not good at looking at, charts, or not looking at the right ones. All right, business conditions for the Philly Fed. I got to point this one out. It seems amazing, actually. So it's up here. So these are like skyrocketing conditions. If we look here, this is just so much better. It's better than anything we've seen since 2021. 2021. Does this scream impending stock market collapse? I should pull up the bingo card to make sure I hit some of the words, just so I can help some people out here. But does this scream that the economy is falling apart and we're heading to recession? I don't think so. I don't think when you've got the best economic conditions in over 3 years that's the case. I mean, it seems pretty interesting. One of the things that's interesting here, Philly Fed Employment Index is down, but I don't know that that's the end of the world either. I mean, again, this thing was just pumped so much for a while. I think we want to see some weakness in like employees asking for a bunch of extra pay. So I think that's okay. And new orders, previous negative 5.2, new number 5.4. And that's, again, an expansion territory again. I want to see that. And this is March data. So this is good. Prices paid. Let's look at prices paid. The one thing that dropped the most. Do I hate that? Do I hate that we don't see as much employment inflation spiral concerns? And at the same time, the prices paid for goods are lower, so we don't have to worry about a spiral of inflation there, all while seeing some of the highest amount of business confidence in over 3 years. I don't hate it. I don't hate anything I'm seeing here. And the S&P Global manufacturing data is very similar in nature. I mean, it's just like better, it's an expansion. Services, I think, wasn't as good. Let me see here. Services rolled a little bit, but again, still an expansion. So I'm not hating it. And, existing home sales. What the fuck is this? We're supposed to be having a catastrophic decline in homes, and yet we're at the highest level of home sales since February of 2023. Again, I think this market is just waiting to scream higher. I said this about real estate. It's waiting for rates to come down, and people are they're biting at the bit, and they want to get ahead of the rush of rates coming down, because if rates start coming down, they know the market's going to start opening up. But at the same time, people are going to aggressively go like, I should get that house that I wanted right now. And so you could just have some crazy dynamics as this thing opens up. feeding off of each other. Now, the leading index, the leading economic indicator, this is actually, there's a fascinating one here too. I'll show you that probably in another slide here in just a little bit. But that's looking great too. And even the 30-year mortgage rate, 6.87, I don't even know if it's going to go over 7%, guys. And I think by the time it really gets there, it's going to start to fall. But all of today's data was beautiful. And after what we got from the Fed yesterday, markets are just sitting there going like, what do we have to be scared about right now? Outside of like a war. There just isn't anything to be scared about. Not for the foreseeable future. This just all looks good. And it will, these are the kind of shifts these are macro level shifts where people are realizing this stuff. So this is the kind of thing where it doesn't just like overnight we get a bad thing and then all of a sudden people freak out and the market's going to collapse. That's not where we're at. This is a train that just like turned around at a station and got a bunch of cars on the back of it, and now it's headed off. And it's going to take a while before it finds a stop. That's the way you need to look at this market right now. It's going to take a cumulative number of things to slow down this market right now. So just think of it that way, man. And again, we're just like, greed and extreme greed doesn't matter right now at all. It just has no impact whatsoever because you have such strong real world narratives with AI and robotics. People are starting to figure out that we could be seeing major shifts in the world and in productivity and all sectors. Everything Kathy Wood's been saying, guys, everything she's been saying is coming. And I think people are starting to realize that. All right, so I'm going to jump through some bookmarks here. We're going to go through a bunch of them. So no particular order, just rolling through them. All right, so Invest Answers. James posted this today. It just shows how there's massive interest in Solana. And social interest is a key way of understanding which ones are going to do really well. Now, some of these will come up out of nowhere, and then they'll be the big one for the cycle. But there's usually themes at the beginning of a cycle. I think James is 100% right. He said this a few times. There's themes at the beginning of the cycle that are prevailing, and they'll be strong all the way through. Like last cycle, strong on meme coins. That was a big, big thing. The one before that, ICOs and Ethereum. It's just like there's themes with cycles. And I think Solana will continue to be a big one in this one, along with others in that list. So you should check it out. Now, I still think, people might think I'm crazy here, but I still think we're going to 92,000 before the halving in 28 days. That doesn't give us a lot of time, right? But I think that's what's happening. I think what we're doing right now is we've got a left shoulder, we got a head, we got a right shoulder that's forming right now and starting to find support in Bitcoin's price action. I think from there we'll launch maybe into the 75, 76K range, grind above all of the existing volume that's kind of been set up underneath of us before we head off for a real large run higher. Doesn't have to happen. I think that's the most likely path though. Now, oh yeah, this is great. So Invest Answers was also talking about the Cybertruck ramp, and he said, I count 136 that were produced yesterday. I love the way he just tracks everything methodically, or has people that do it for him. So he's saying roughly, annualized maybe 50,000. And I would have to agree. I think this ramp is actually going a lot better than people realize. And again, people like myself, I haven't even gotten an update on my Cybertruck. I'm somebody who's paying like $20,000 more than they thought they were going to pay. And then they added another $20,000 onto that. And I haven't even heard back on when I'm getting mine. That's how much demand there is right now for these Cybertrucks. So people who think that Tesla is just struggling, Rivian wishes they had this problem. Rivian doesn't have this problem. Rivian loses $43,000 a vehicle. A vehicle. They would love for people to be clamoring and paying an extra $40 for the truck they thought they were getting when they pre-ordered it ages ago. And I'm still excited to get it. And there's tons of people just like me. So, I don't know, man. Don't discount Tesla. I hope it drops. I really hope it drops. It dropped today. I'm hoping it's a bear flag. I'm hoping we break down to the 140s. I would love for it to. I really want to lose a bunch of money over the short term so I can make it over the long. So, praying to God that Tesla can keep falling. All right, PayPal. I wanted to post this. My buddy Derek Quick, he's badass. I posted about him today on X. You guys should follow him if you don't already. I think he's great. He's great on YouTube too. But he was talking about smart money buying PayPal for the first time in 3 years, sentiment changing. And I think he's right. When you look here and change the shares, the numbers are getting bigger and you can see a large ramp occurring. And there's some big names in here, man. Some big names, important names. Ken Griffin from Citadel is one of those, but there's a lot of big names in this list. And again, we've been calling that for a while, like 9 months too early. But I'm almost in the black. So that just shows how if you do options right, you can do really well. All right, I wanted to point this one out. So this is Hedgeye, pretty bearish person, I think. But they've been using the lay or the leading economic indicator as a guide that was showing how horrible the recession was going to be. But here's what's fascinating, guys. For the first time in 2 years, it flipped positive. So the bears can't even win on this front anymore. They just have nothing anymore. I kind of feel bad for them. They just have nothing. All right, I wanted to point this out. I thought this was great. Danny Marquez. Hopefully I'm saying that right. He has a chart here. Again, I love Sebastian Ski. I love James from Invest Answers. But I believe in pulling in data from all sources and doing comparisons. So I like what Danny's done here with his mining valuations and the way he's categorized them by normal metrics that you would look at a stock with, Bitcoin-specific mining metrics, fleet efficiency, all-in cash cost per BTC. I just like the way he's doing this. It's thoughtful. And so I think it's a good one to check out if you haven't already. All right, let me make sure I didn't miss anything. I didn't miss anything. So we're going to move on to the stock portion of this. So let me pull that up real quick. Oh, and real quickly before I get into people's individual stock picks, we'll do all the stuff I love because it's my channel. But here we go. So I do like that we're finding support. So we broke high yesterday, right? We hit the 100 moving average on the 4 hour, and then we've kind of been pushed down with the 50 here. The thing I'm liking, though, is yes, we broke a little bit lower out of what was previously a megaphone pattern. That's not a bad thing to break lower out of. But I like the fact that we found support on the previous fib and the previous downward resistance line, and we're bouncing off of it. It'll be interesting to see where we close, or open up, I should say, tomorrow. But what I would like to see is 67, 200 or something like that, getting above this peak volume level. And if we do that, and we get that right shoulder formation, again, I think the $76,000 range is just a matter of time. Now, real quickly here, let's load some other charts. Let's do PayPal. All right. PayPal. Just like this. So I think it's another great day, guys. I mean, how often do you remember PayPal just going up? And what I like here is there's a pattern called 3 white soldiers. It basically consists of pretty even runs, all one after another, and it's traditionally very bullish. And I think we're at the second one for that on the weekly time scale. And so maybe this next, week, maybe it's not this week, maybe it's next week, we get up, in the 68, 69, 70 range and get that third one. And that'll be perfect because we'll be right underneath the 100 moving average on the weekly. And we'll be right near the 74 level where we have peak volumes again, right around that. So maybe we retrace in here for a while and chop back and forth after we get our second higher high. First time that's happened in over 3 years. And so maybe we chop right here above the first fib and then look to break out in the months ahead. And if we break out, 83 is really close. I think 83 comes before the next earnings cycle. So just the next couple of months, and potentially a run towards, the 97 range and maybe even the 113 range by after next earnings. So I think it's really possible. These things, I can just see narratives shifting, and this is it's like what I was talking about with markets. Not only do you have the macro market and the Fed and everybody starting to go, oh shit, this could go higher. But then at the same time, you have this stock turning into that narrative, which acts like another multiplier to the potential returns, right? So you've got narrative stacking on narrative, stacking on narrative. You got that crypto narrative. You got the stablecoin narrative. You've got the company getting turned around and actually seeing some real world progress. And then on top of that, everybody's starting to shift. And then you'll have analysts starting to jump into this. And then you'll have the broader market. It's just all compounding. When you look at all these narratives and you look at all the fundamentals, you need to add it all together. That's what so many people miss. They just look at a fucking chart or look at the financials. And they're like, I don't like to look at macro. I don't need to. I just focus on my one little company. Well, sure, you could do that, but you could have years where you lose out. If you don't believe me, look at what happened to Palantir. Look at what happened to SoFi. Look at what happened to PayPal. Look at what happened to Tesla. The people that were just devout about their stock and didn't look at the broader world lost out, right? I made 700% across my portfolio last year. But these people, some of them, like Palantir, sure, you made it a lot back. You're up 300%. That's great. But it was over 2 years of pain to get there, 2.5. And these others will come around too. But it's like, why ride the pain for years when there's other opportunities out there? And you don't really need to be researched in like more than like 10 things, maybe 10 stocks, and then understanding the macro. That's it. And then I can help you with the TA and the financial statements, but like know 10 stocks well, or maybe less. Maybe it's like 7 or 8 or types of investments, just to where you can move between things and have some diversity. And again, you can have asymmetric. People think they need to be concentrated to get rich. Yes, you can do that, but you can also fail that way too. Why not have things that can give you the equivalent of concentration from asymmetric opportunities that are pointed in different directions and that can strike at different times, to where one of them can feed the other things you love? Like, that's made me tons of money. And I think that that's a path. Wow, were we talking about PayPal? That's a path, though, that I think that I just think these are considerations people should have in their investment career, man. If all you ever do is specialize in one thing, like, sure, that might get you some looks in YouTube or, some hits on X or whatever, but it's like, fuck, that's boring if nothing else. Fucking boring. I can't imagine just looking at the same fucking company all the time and having to cheerlead it. I'd lose my mind. I'd rather cheerlead like 8 of them. Anyway. All right, Square up 3% today. And what I want to talk about here is that, again, it's just looking good. I want to see it establish a base above this previous decline line here. And make a run and really get above 90. If we can get above 90, then I don't know if there's a lot. Let's look at the weekly here. Yeah, there's nothing. If we can get above 90 and turn that into a base, there's nothing really preventing us from at least getting to 100 and then the next fib at 115. And I think it could accomplish both of those things. So we could have a nice little jump here if we get above that. All right, next one. Let's look at Palantir. So again, Palantir, I said this was going to be a waffler. A waffler. I said that for a reason, because it's waffling. So it's had a great day yesterday, and now today down 0.33%. But still, people are buying it in after hours. So again, we just chop and try and figure out if we're going to break down out of this. We definitely have divergences to the downside, but will it drop out or will it go higher? I don't know. I don't care much. Love the company. Definitely going to throw a lot of capital at it. But I don't know that it matters right now. It's just a one where, like, yeah, you could be really loyal to them for the next 6 months while a bunch of other things could have made you a ton of money. All right. And again, I look at Tesla that same way too. There was a period I didn't own Tesla for a while here, and I love that company. All right, so Hood down 77%. Still love that. High was 900, or I'm sorry, how long ago was the high? It was 962 days ago. So not 3 years, but a while ago. Again, we've still got 56% maybe to be able to hit our fib, which is really the only resistance we have. And this thing has the strongest crypto narrative, maybe outside of Coinbase. So it's just going to go up. It's just going to go up. And again, that's why I made, like, I think between both accounts, like 25,000 on Hood today. And this is nice. A lot of my fintech plays and a lot of my asymmetric opportunities that I invested in are going to finally start paying off. And it's going to be fun watching all the haters disappear or hide while they see me making shit tons of money. I'm almost going to feel bad for them. Almost. Not really, though. Now, peak volumes, we're grinding underneath of it, but on the weekly here, but we're getting close, and we hit it today, and we just fell underneath of it again. Honestly, right even here, if you look at just this short time frame here, just this big block, yeah, we're still underneath. So right down here. But we want to get above peak volumes with SoFi, and I think it's going to happen. I mean, heck, in after hours, it's already trying again. So I think we're set to go higher on SoFi. I'm excited. Let me see. I think DLO went down today. I put in orders to buy more of the options, but I didn't get it. So this is that Latin American one that I was talking about and that I had the members only video about. And currently it is down 78% from its high. And you can see how it's already wicked up a little bit, down 0.57%, and then nothing after hours. This one's just chilling. But I do think that it's natural. Its natural move after this wick higher will be to get above the 50. And then when you look at just the sheer descent, it's going to break higher. It's going to want to test the 24. That's just my honest opinion. I don't see how there's a world where it doesn't. All right, real quickly here, ARKG. And Cypher today. Did Cypher close up? Cypher closed up 6%. Nice. All right, ARKG down on the day. It's got an indecision candle, still above peak volumes. I feel like this one is going to chop up towards 30 here soon. We'll see if that happens, but that is still my prevailing theory. All right, and just looking here too, I'm just going to scan real quick. SMCI semiconductors 8.38% up today. Outside of that, Nvidia was up 1%, Intel was up 0.52%, AMD was down 0.58%. Nothing too interesting in that space, which I think is okay. I think it's okay for it to get boring there, and then to turn into something great later. Like again, just a slow, steady increase. I think that's freaking wonderful. That's what we want to see. All right, I'm gonna pull up Cypher just because I love that one right now and it's breaking out. So again, these miners, they don't all go at the same time, but you could tell, look at this grinded down here near peak volumes forever. And it gave you an opportunity, especially looking at the daily time frame. It gave you many opportunities right through here to be like, it doesn't want to go lower. It's turned what was, previously resistance here into support pretty clearly here. And we're going to get a breakout because this thing's way undervalued versus the rest. And then if you just looked at the financials, you could tell that this thing was ready to go. Bitfarms hasn't had this moment yet, but Cypher's having it now for a number of reasons. They have really low cost for their mining. And they're starting to stack Bitcoin, which is good. They're late to the party. But again, this is so it's playing catch up. It's playing catch up, and it might take a breather soon. And if it takes a breather, don't go, why is Bitfarms a better investment? Because it's all of a sudden going up more than Cypher. No, just don't look at it that way. It's ebb and flow. It's water. Investing is water. And it's trying to find the least path of resistance. So wherever people are interested, or if a narrative's flipping and it's creating momentum, along with technicals and macro, the water is going to flow where the water flows. And in the Bitcoin miners, it's going to be flowing heavy. So just don't focus on this one hasn't performed, so I should take everything from the one that hasn't performed and put it in the one that's performing. That is the dumbest investment shit you can possibly do. People who chase are losers. I hate to say that, but 90% of the time they are. There will be people that jump on the next cool thing. They won't show you their portfolio allocation like I will. They won't show you what the fucking balance is. You know why? Yeah, be water, my friend. Exactly. Just like Bruce Lee said. But you know why they won't show you that stuff? Because they chase all the fucking time, and then they show you the couple of times where they do well. That's why they're not fully transparent. It's not easy to be fully transparent, especially when you chase, because you lose. So don't chase. Find the investments. Let them come to you. Be like water, my friend. Okay? I don't know where that came from. Sorry. Getting excited again today. All right, what else? And again, I think I already looked at MicroStrategy, but again, that's just doing great. Solana's taking a break. It's down 6.52%. Let's maybe pull up. Let me look here at crypto bubbles. Maybe jump into this real quick. So just looking at the month here, again, you can see how like all the stupid shit, like Whiff and Shib and Floki and Pepe, and Bonk and like all that. I own some of that trash. Just a lot of stupid shit has went up, and over the week, and then some, again, maybe some decent stuff. I don't know how to judge that in the crypto world. So much of it is garbage. Trying to find a purpose. Just think of them as startups. If you think of crypto as venture capital, then you're great. 95% of it is trash. Just think of it that way. You're betting on trash and you're hoping that it turns into something great. But again, these things got smoked. And this is what happens, man. I could already see people chasing shit coins. And they do the same thing as what I was just talking about with miners. They'll jump into something that's going up a lot. And by the time you find out about it, you're fucked. And then it'll start to go down. And then they chase the next thing and the next thing. It's a great way to lose money. If you want to lose money, it will expedite that for you. So definitely, if you want to lose money and that is your goal, you should chase as much as possible. So it's the one bit of advice that I have. All right, let's get into your stuff. I think I've done enough. Let's move on. First one here, MTTR. It's a Cantonese cat one. Well, you know I don't really love cats. I'm kidding. I actually had 4 at one time. Now I've got a geriatric Jack Russell Terrier. But I do like cats, so we'll take a look. Jesus, this thing shit the bed. This is that one that like me, Kevin liked a long time ago, right? Matterport, yeah. Yeah, he bought into this one. They do like video rendering for real estate. I don't know what else they do. Their market cap's 587 million now. Let's see, how fucked are they? Might be a decent play. I'm interested to see here. Oh, 1 second here. Gotta get that off. Let me just do something real quick. All right. There we go. Bring you back. Okay. All right. So Matterport. Let's get them on here. All right. So Matterport hasn't really went anywhere. Right? A little bit up. I guess honestly, this is doing better than I would have expected it to. Let me just look here though. Short interest is not huge. Shares outstanding. Again, I'm looking at the yearly time frame because these guys do anything else? Can you guys tell me? I know they're tied to the housing market, but what I know they do, like, again, they had like cameras you could use, but then now there's like a phone app or something, and you can do like 3D walkthroughs. Is there anything else these guys do? I am intrigued though. I mean, I'm intrigued. It might actually have positive EPS in the future, or getting close to it. I mean, it's still showing negative. But if they can be positive when they're guiding for like negative 0.03, that would actually be an interesting shift for this company. So they have a lot of cash still, not a ton of debt. Net income's burning 44 million. Don't love the 44 million, but what's their cash position? 400 million. So that gives them 10 months run, or I'm sorry, 10 quarter runway. So that's about the average. A lot of companies do that. But again, no revenue growth, negative 0.4%. But will this pick up if the real estate market ticks up? That's the real question that we're looking at, right? They've lowered their expenses. They're getting their cash flow more towards positive. We just saw existing home sales start to jump. We know that rates are coming down in June, most likely. And this company is down 95%. Jesus. From its $38 price level down to $1.89. Oh, that's interesting. I'm not going to lie. This is actually interesting to me. I need to understand their product line more because I don't know it well enough. And so I don't know, like, will these guys do they have a great product that will be in high demand when the real estate market starts to take off? And is it profitable? Does it make them money? But here's what I do know. When you shit the bed this bad, Just to get to your first fib, it's a 425% increase. I am interested. You got me. I might even make a video on this one. I got the other stuff I'm still looking at too, but this is interesting. Just because, again, it's been so destroyed, and if they can actually pull off some positive EPS quarters, that could get really interesting. What's insiders are buying in Q1 of 2024? A lot more bought than sold. Same with Q1 of 2023, so you can see them getting optimistic here and here. And you have people that sell all the time because these companies are unprofitable, so they issue shares like crazy. So it's pretty normal for you to see this, right? Look at how much the short interest has dropped, guys. Shorts are running away from this. Like from almost 6% down to 2.22. And then institutional ownership has been picking up since Q1 of 23, along with insiders buying since Q1 of 2023, and actually projecting revenue increases here soon. So what happens if the housing market really takes off? Huh. I mean, they got stuff going against them now, but I don't know. This could get interesting. And share dilution hasn't been crazy. It's been fairly light. What is their stock-based comp? 71%. Yeah, I suppose with revenues. That makes sense. So these guys could dial back stock-based comp, and then as the market's taking off, I think they could really start to see some increases here, and maybe they could cut expenses. I don't know. I feel like they could dial stuff. This is interesting. Sorry I'm spending so much time on this one. I know it's literally the first one, but I like that. I really like that. I'm going to take a look at it. Just as a play, it's a nice positive play for the real estate market, and I have not been really focused on that. That would be a nice little area to diversify into with all of my PayPal and Hood and all my other gains that I'm going to be experiencing here in the months ahead. CWCO. Let's see here. Is this Crowded Strike or which one is this? Consolidated Water. All right, I kind of don't remember this one, but it's ran like a shit ton. Well, 323%. That's a decent amount. It's how many billion? $465 million market cap. Let me look over here. I just need to be reacquainted with their financials because I don't know this one. Matterport customers have seen 14% increase in bookings and sales, 50% decrease in travel time and cost, 30% faster project completion, 75% reduction in planning. Cool. Matterport has a digital twin product, which was keyword in latest NVIDIA. Cool. I didn't know that either. Huh. I got some homework to do. All right. So this one, revenue growth, 100% year over year. Okay. I've obviously looked at this one before. That's pretty great. $465 million company, $8 million net income. So their net income is growing pretty quick. What's the estimate on it? Kind of tabling off. So they're expecting some of this to come down. I wonder why they've had this increase. Consolidated Water. What do you guys do? Regulated water utilities. Oh, they've been... Okay. I wonder if the costs are going to start to stabilize. I don't know. I'd have to learn more about this company. So again, I think you've had it great. I don't like the fact that you've went up so much already. Could this go up higher? They got a dividend. That looks nice. And maybe we could go up here to, like, again, we've already hit the bottom of the RSI and we've got some bullish divergence. So maybe we could climb back up above the 1. If we got above the 1 and could grind up here for a little bit, then I would expect maybe you go back to the all-time high around 38 at least before the RSI becomes overextended on the daily time frame. So again, so maybe there's some upside to this, but I know you guys like to look at some of these stocks, but I don't like these stocks because it's like there's so much more that's asymmetric. It makes me just wonder, why would you spend a lot of time on this one unless you know a lot about it? If you know a lot about it, and I'm just doing this because like you just want to see when you can sell in a little bit, or if you should buy because of what you know, and you're just trying to get the technical, then that's cool. But I don't know. I would rather be invested in Bitcoin. I thought I asked already, but I don't see it when I look in the chat. Okay. Yeah, I'll try and take a look at that one too. All right, so let me get this up. CSWC. Capital Southwest Corporation. This is for Lou. I don't know if Lou's the same one that gave me that advice for that video, but if it is Lou, I really appreciate you. That's very intriguing and not something I've heard before. And if that can help my stomach-related issues, I'm going to be super fucking happy. So, thank you. All right, so, wow, what a bottom in this one. This one got really crushed by the pandemic. What is this? So this is like this is one where, I don't know, this could be a heck of a short when you're, is this a plane? What is this? Capital Asset Management. Asset Management. What is this play? Lou, what is this, bro? Secures and secured facility from, so they're securing money from Deutsche Bank. Huh. The revenues are increasing a bunch. Operating expenses are increasing, and like debt is high. 677 billion in debt. It's a market cap of 1 billion. They do make money, 23 million. That's not bad. Guidance is about the same, so nothing crazy happening in the future. Short interest is kind of meandered. They are buying back stocks. So these people believe in this company, and there's been institutional ownership that's been growing since 2021, really. And we're seeing some expansion between the revenues and the operating expenses. But again, it would be nice if the operating expenses were lower. But let me just go back here. So this thing, but it got crushed during the pandemic. The lockdowns just fucked this company. In 2008, they got crushed too. So this is a great company for maybe as a hedge. I need to figure out what these guys do, because they get royally crushed when shit goes bad. Let's see here. 2008. Well, I shouldn't say royally, but a 72% drop is pretty big. And then the pandemic, how did that do them? The pandemic brought them down in a short period of time, 70%. I mean, if we just shorten it to the, right before it fell off a cliff, from December of 2019. So in 4 months, this thing dropped 65%. But again, there could be different circumstances. The pandemic was weird, so maybe that's not a case in the future. But it's interesting. And then in 2000, it got crushed too. So it does seem like something that has a tough amount of decline, in bad markets. .com bubble, maybe not as much, but that was mostly tech. All right. Cool. All right. Well, I'll probably keep that around maybe for a short play, just to see if I can learn more about this company too. All right. Let me save this real quick and then move on. Hi, Jesse. Cheers from Poland. Poland. Awesome. Nice to meet you, Mario. Can you expand a bit on how the short interest may impact the stock price? Thank you. Short interest can be rocket fuel if the shorts are wrong. So if shorts are right, though, they're not right with MicroStrategy, right? And there's a massive amount of short interest on that stock. Let me just see if I could pull it up. So MicroStrategy, I think most people that are sane, I don't know if we're having a problem with the site here. Oh, there we go. Most people that are sane, I think, would realize that MicroStrategy is going up a lot. But when short interest is at 17%, and you're insane enough to short this thing, Jared Hines, that's my old CFO of a company I worked for. I won't give out much more than that, but he's a stud. Thank you for your patronage, my friend. All right, so, but when you have short interest of 17%, and you're betting the wrong way, that short interest is rocket fuel, and it is why MicroStrategy can operate at such a premium to their underlying Bitcoin assets right now, because it doesn't matter. Because the second the sell volume slows on it and people are like, oh, I should buy the dip, then they start to compound and the short interest gets crushed. And then when those shorts get crushed, they have to buy in. And when they buy in, they feed the fuel higher and higher. And so you can get very distorted premiums. I actually think instead of just a 2x, I think we could see a 3x maybe this cycle in MicroStrategy versus its BTC holdings, because I think it can just get that crazy. So very fascinating. to see. So that's short interest, man. Short interest. If you're wrong, if there's a ton of shorts and they're wrong, it's rocket fuel to the upside. If they're right, it will just more quickly lead to the demise of the company, and they will get rich and get fueled off the demise. So that's what you have to realize. You, please. Sure, winter green. I can do that. Let's pull up you. Unity Software, still grinding down at the bottom. Hasn't been able to get above peak volumes yet. Don't love it for that reason. And let me just look over here real quick. We're going to do the fib retracement on it. Should have probably had it a while ago. Let me get that on here. So we can see how this could be rocket fuel to the upside if these guys can start managing their financials correctly. I haven't looked at estimates on this one for a while. It's a Unity Software company, based out of California, 15% short interest. So this is a thing where if the shorts are wrong, they could get screwed. But again, we've looked at this before. I don't know if this is a one-off, but this sucks. Having this massive $252 million loss for a quarter for Q4 sucks. And when your debt is already exceeding what you have for cash, and it looks like you're doing a little bit of dilution, nothing crazy. I mean, that just scares people away. If they had this nice trend of their net income getting closer to positive, or at least, lower losses. You want to maintain that trend. You don't want to see shit like this. So they are guiding for lower revenue over the next 2 quarters, and they're guiding for strong losses that don't exhibit that previous trend that I wanted to see. So until they start guiding for better, if they start guiding for better, you'll see this thing take off. But I would have to really know this company or be somebody that works at it before I would feel confident and getting in too deep with this one, even though, again, it's incredibly oversold, down 87% from its high. So, but I'd have to know more, man. I'd have to have a reason. Otherwise, why care? All right, Bain. Morning, HIMS 17 pre-market. How much would HIMS benefit from Russell rally? I think Tom Lee said 50% Russell this year. All right, I can look at that. But you got to keep something else in mind, man. HIMS is very popular right now. So A, it's popular with retail, right? B, it's done really good. It's up 500% from its bottom here in May of 2022. My friend Adam, he was one of the people talking about this like crazy. I was in it for a little bit, but I never did an options play. Kind of wishing I would have, because this thing went up like crazy. But here's the thing, you've done that now. And so our next target is $25. This company is a $3.58 billion market cap now. By the time it gets to $26, if we don't have a lot of share dilution, maybe we're sitting around $6 billion for a market cap for this company. So keep that in your head as we look at some of their financials real quick. Subscriptions up. So Alejandro's got so much in this. It's very cool. All right, so revenue's still growing, net income positive. All this stuff is great. A lot of this looks great. I don't like the share dilution recently. But average order values are going up, net orders are going up, subscriptions are going up, operating expenses. I wish this would table off a little bit. It would be nicer if these weren't scaling. Let's look at what their OpEx is like real quick. Actually, let me go over here. There's so many charts in here now. Again, I would like to see this widen more on their operating leverage. I would like to see revenue growing at a faster pace, like a broader spread between their expenses. And I just don't see that yet. Wow, there's so much on here. Alejandro has done a great job. Online revenue, wholesale revenue. Alejandro's so great. Visualstocks.com, guys, with a Z instead of an S in visual. Support this guy. If nothing else, use the free service. You get more delayed information, and I don't know if it has all the same features, but you still get access to some really cool stuff. I don't make a dime for saying that. But I do want to support somebody who, when I ask him to do things on here, almost all the time he does it. And he's like, yeah, that's a pretty good idea. And then he'll incorporate it like in a day sometimes, a lot of the times. So support this guy. This is cool stuff, man. Institutional ownership is okay. estimates are just continuing to go higher. And again, net income positive, which is good. But if we get to that previous high, and this is a $6 billion company, is breaking even good enough? I mean, maybe for 48% revenue growth year over year, if that can maintain. But I'd love to see this actually have some quarters of making some money. And if you made 500%, there's so many other things to be invested in, man. So many things to be invested in. I just don't understand. Like, if you haven't taken any chips off the table, you're kind of insane. And if you don't do that by like 25 or I would say 37 at max, again, if you've already made 500%, why risk it? Like non-performance, like maybe just sideways chop, or maybe potentially it going down and taking a breather for 6 months or a year because people are like, this is run too hard. When your upside to the all-time high is only 50%, you've made 500, you only have 50% left, or potentially maybe 120. I got Bitcoin could dwarf that. Miners could do 3 to 5x that, what Bitcoin could do. So, I mean, I just don't. Again, I don't like dead money or just money that sits around and doesn't earn me more money. So personally, do I think they'll do good because of small caps? I don't know that they're going to be a small cap anymore, and they've already done really good, and so they don't get that multiplier from the broader market doing well when they're already fucking great. My 2 cents. Is SoFi a small cap benefiting from that? SoFi isn't necessarily a small cap either, but it is incredibly beat up. And we showed that a little bit ago. And so when something's down 70, 80% from its all-time high and they've been performing really well, yes, they'll probably get treated like a small cap and benefit. But the ones that have already gained 500%, I don't think that's going to happen. It could. You could get lucky. But I've got the whole, like, if you've made 500%, do you really want to risk it on the last 50 to 100? I mean, I don't. Anyway, and again, you could keep the stock, but I'm just saying, like, there's so many, like, you could nibble at least and, like, buy other cool stuff. That might be a play. All right, Jake joined as a starter pack. Thank you, dude. Jake Sawaski, SEDG, considering rate cuts imminent. Good start averaging in. I don't know. Let's take a look, see if I already have that one. And again, if you guys aren't subscribed already, do it. And, turn on the alerts and everything and put comments at the end of this. It helps my channel, and then it helps me get out to a broader market. And that's what I want to do. Again, I'm retired, but I want to help a lot of people. I don't make a ton of money from this, but I want to help a bunch of people. What am I doing? Oh, yeah, I was looking at this chart. I was going to make a copy. All right, here we go. SDEG. There we go. I don't have this one, but let me look it up. So as I look these up, I save them. What is this? SEDG. Okay, well, you got to spell right too, so that's my bad. I'll have to fix that. Solar Edge. Ah, yeah, they probably will. But I don't know how good of a company they are versus Enphase and these others. Again, the actual fundamentals of the company are important, not just the chart. The chart can drive you based on the narrative. And we do have down here, we could see how we're getting higher lows on the RSI. So we have bullish divergence, right? And then we can see here how we've got bullish divergence. This thing's been going down, but these are pushing up. And so does this want to go up? It does want to go up. You can see how it's up in hours and after hours. But what do the fundamentals of the company look like? Again, they've probably been getting brutalized, right? They've probably taken a hit. But will they continue to? I don't know. Thank you, Penny, for joining. Appreciate you. All right, revenue has collapsed. Wow, they did take it hard, man. So there might be some lag for these guys. Woof. But again, so here's the thing. I don't know how they benefit. Do they benefit from installs? Or do they benefit from actual solar panels? I don't know where their money comes from. If you guys know, tell me. But because here's the deal. Solar is plummeting as far as like the panels. They're plummeting in price. China is making too many of them, and they don't have anybody to sell them to, and so they're going to flood the market, just like they're going to do with cars and tons of other stuff. And so I could really see, I don't know, I could see solar having pain still for a while. I think people are more likely to buy like when rates are really low, they get excited about this stuff. I think solar could have like a lag versus something like a Tesla where their cars, like you could get a Model Y. I bought my Model Y for like over like high $50,000 range years ago, and now it's like you can get one for 37 after the tax credit, which is instant. So like these are so cheap, and so Tesla can just take off. They're doing so good. They brought their COGS down so much, they could just take off. So that's a great play, and their energy market has still been strong, but like this has been so decimated. And I just don't know if it's going to take off. But again, we do have divergences, and so maybe it could. But I hesitate on these because it's like I just don't know. This seems like such a tough market, an expanding one. But for who? Here, let me do a trend-based extension here, though. But for who wins in this market? I think Tesla clearly will be a beneficiary. I've heard that Enphase can for a number of decent arguments. I haven't heard that much from SolarEdge, so I'd have to do more. But again, so from a technical level, we'll hit resistance. We really want to get above 79 before you can even get interested. Ideally, you get above 91, and then you have a break to 122, and then you got pretty open turf here where you don't have tons of volume. But yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look at this one and see if it's really that interesting. Dan, TNA, by the way, thank you so much for MSTR ETF call out. I am glad it's going good for you, Dan. I think that's one that I wouldn't own any of the Bitcoin ETFs right now when I could own MicroStrategy, especially in an IRA or something where you could use it to arbitrage back and forth into miners or something like that. Like whichever one's doing really good. If MicroStrategy is doing really good, miners aren't going anywhere, sell a little MicroStrategy, buy a little miners in your IRA, tax advantage. Don't want to day trade in accounts that aren't IRAs that tax you every time you trade. That's just stupid. But yeah. All right, here, what was I doing? T-Day. All right, let me pull it up. I don't have that one. Hey. All right. Let me do an auto on this. I need to adjust this. All right, so this one gets this is just a small cap. Yeah. Okay, this is a 3x off of the Russell or something, right? Yeah, it's gonna do good. I mean, it's gonna do good, right? It's gonna do 3x. So this would be a good investment. I just don't think it's that great because if we're talking about a 50% increase, which is probably like a 45% increase from here that Tom Lee thinks is going to occur on the Russell, then just multiply that times 3 and then maybe take a little bit out because it's a 3x fund. And so there's some like theta decay like options with that. So what's your upside on this? 125 at peak from where we're at. I mean, I could do 125% this year on my sleep. So I just don't know if it doesn't seem that interesting to me right now as far as plays go. I thought about it. Yeah, I don't know. I could do better on my own with individual stocks. So this doesn't interest me very much. Notive. Pietro? Sierra? Oh, I'm so bad with names. I need to travel the world more, man. All right, let me try and pull this up. I don't know if I have this one. Notive. I don't remember off the top of my head. No, I don't. Okay, so let's add it. But yeah, for you guys that don't get a lot of time to do this during the week, again, probably like 8 or 9 o'clock on weekends, on Saturday and Sunday, I'll probably do the same thing where I'll pull up charts for people. And we can talk about whatever, and I'll probably be more engaged with chat because hopefully there's less people in it. All right, so Notive. I Notive. Commercial services. Commercial. For what? All right, diagnostics and research out of Indiana. Huh. West Lafayette. I know where that is. I used to live in that state. Decent amount of debt, not a lot of cash. Shares aren't getting diluted. Operating expenses are going down. Revenue isn't really going anywhere. Net income is pretty flat. It's a $257 million company. Their estimates are going to tick up a little bit. Nothing too exciting. Institutional ownership is going down. Short interest isn't really that high. I don't love, though, that we haven't. So again, Q4 2022, I guess they made up. So they were really selling hard into 2022. Then they bought back. We're seeing a little bit of buying, but not a lot, which tells me that insiders aren't too excited about buying their stock back. And I don't love that. I love seeing like where we're seeing institutional ownership for PayPal increase, where we're seeing insider activity increase. I like to see stuff like that with the stock. I do like that their costs are coming down, but their revenues, again, I guess their costs are coming down quicker than their revenues. Is that good? I don't know. They're not losing tons of money, but like what I would want to know with this company is what interesting is happening, because this has a lot of retail ownership. Institutions don't care. There's a decent amount of insiders. So either this is like a gem in the diamond in the rough that people don't know about, where this is going to get like really good in the future because you know fundamentals about it, or it's just not interesting. And it could totally be not interesting. I will say this, again, retail bought the shit out of it. So from a technical level, they were probably looking at this through here, right? They saw that it went all the way down here. That's probably the only part of interest on this, is what has already happened, not what will happen. So I don't think it's a good thing to look at, because they went down 97%. And people said, whoa, that's peak volumes. And I think just at like a risk-adjusted return level, if this company isn't going to fail when they drop down in November of 2023 all the way down to this level, we might as well buy it. And look at that, they got a 10x. So there's nothing interesting with this company right now. This is an opportunity that came and went, and I wouldn't even give a shit about it right now. My opinion, unless you know something I don't. Unless you know something where they're sandbagging their guidance. I can't believe I don't have Disney. I mean, they're a woke ass company, so I don't really pay much attention to them anymore, because I don't like that shit. I don't like it when corporations try and dictate what people's beliefs should be. I'm not a fan, man. I like that about as much as I like governments trying to dictate what I should believe. And I say this as like a liberal conservative. I voted for a lot of people that people didn't like on both parties because I thought they were the least evil consideration, or at least the least damaging, whether I was right or wrong. So this was down 61%. Again, it's went up. We're above peak volumes here. I haven't looked at their stuff in a while. But outside of morally chastising this company, let's look at the rest of it. Sorry, this is what comes with it. You get free-flowing Jesse. So it is what it is. I mean, they netted $2 million. That's not a bad number, right? Disney, they got some debt, but nobody cares about that. It's not like they're going to go bankrupt. Cash flow is dropping a little bit. Revenues are kind of like, meh. Let's look at what estimates are. That's where the entry. Not really going anywhere. But still netting a decent amount. It's a $214 billion company. Netting $1 to $2 billion a quarter isn't bad. But I mean, its PE is what, 71? That's still high for me, man. Like, this company fundamentally has to bounce back a lot. Eric S. selling Disney to buy Bitcoin. I think that's the smartest thing you could have done. So again, it feels to me like this has been a pretty good move, and maybe we grind here between here and 127. So Disney's of no interest to me. It's a waste of time and effort. I mean, maybe if you like dividends and shit. I don't care about dividends. When I'm 100, maybe I'll care about dividends if I make it that long. I'm kidding. I won't even like it then. Probably just be like 100% Bitcoin by that time. All right, so I call this EOC. This is the one where I watched their earnings and I was like barely impressed. It just seemed like they got a lot of ramping to do. There's a lot of promises with this company. A lot of promises. Can they do it? Can they make money? Can they make money before they lose all the money? That's the real question, right? Down 96% from their high, roughly. That sucks. But here's our positive, right? If we go year over year, everything looks better. So 148%. because we went from looking like we were a growing company to falling off a cliff for 2 quarters to starting to make money again. But the estimates show us doing a little bit better. But again, these are tiny numbers, 6 million, 7 million in revenue. That's just laughable. That's such a small amount of money for a company. Well, I guess they're only 210 million now, so maybe it's not. They're not quite what they used to be. They're not a multi-billion-dollar company anymore, are they? But their forecast. So again, I just don't see an improvement here. That's the thing I struggle with, right? I don't see an improvement. I see kind of like maybe there's going to be improvement in the future. Maybe. Let's look at insider activity. Nothing really happening. Institutional ownership is going up. Huh. Maybe they're seeing something I don't. Or maybe there's just a lot of people invested in ETFs that don't know what they're fucking doing. That could be it too. Short interest has declined a little bit. What's it at? 23%. So this thing might be a trading stock where if they get some outsized, like better than expected returns, this thing could pop a lot. That's probably all I would look at it as. I might be interested as just like a Hail Mary, like, I don't know, like 0.3% of my portfolio, just effing around with an options play maybe. I'm going to look at this one from an options along with Matterport just because I don't know if I believe in this company at all, but I'll take money. I'll take money if it gives me a high multiple. And there's so much damage here. So much damage. All these poor people who are like, yeah, it's coming back, dude. It's coming back. I bought it $1 and it's coming back. And now oh my God, we're so rich. We're at $5, almost $6. And then they just got slammed to $1.23. And then they're like, oh my God, we're rich again. We're at $4. And then they just got slammed to 74 cents. So this has probably washed out a lot of people because, I mean, it could just be a dying company. So, but there could be a trade here. So I might have some fun with this one. We'll see. If I do anything with it, of course, I'll do a members only video for you guys because I love you. All right. Hey, Jesse. So intelligent computing. Love you, by the way. Person's so awesome. Please take a look at FM on the TSX long-term technicals, ascending parallel chain on the monthly chart. Make it look like it looks like it might go 8 to 10x over the next 18 to 24 months. All right. So again, I'm going to take a look at EOC here and see what we got. But let me see. TSX. Have I looked at that one? That sounds familiar. No. What did you say? TSX? Yeah, okay. Or FM on the TSX. Okay, let me go back. FM. Copy. FM. All right, so let's look at this one. See what we got. I got some energy today, guys. I'm not hungry. So if you guys don't have your bingo cards out, I am not hungry. That is a bingo card answer. And I haven't talked about China yet. Oh, wait, I just did. There's another bingo for anybody who wants it. All right, FM. FM, you said TSX index. Let me see. TSX. There we go. First Quantum Minerals. Okay. Let's see here. Are these guys again? Have we looked at this one before? I don't know. Is this what kind of oof? Jesus. Boy, we get drops in this one though, man. But yeah, you're right. Just based on the technicals alone, this could be interesting because this one does like to drop. It is very impacted by its surroundings, isn't it? Has no resilience whatsoever. All right, I'm gonna pull this one up. Yeah, you can tell me something about it if you want. While I'm pulling it up. What was the name again? First Quantum Minerals. Oh, I don't know if I can get that one on here. It's either too tiny or it's maybe because of the exchange that it's on. So let me go over here. We'll look at financials over here. All right, so let me see. Statements, revenue. All right, so let me see. Do I have quarterly in here? Even to look up? No, okay. All right, so they got it broken down by locations, it looks like. What do these guys do? See, overview. First quantum, production, exploration, and development of copper, nickel, gold, zinc, acid, relative index. I actually don't think that I don't think commodities are going to do as well as people think they are. So I'm not super excited about it from that front, man, because I think we're going to still have weakness from demand. And I don't know. I'll have to see if maybe these guys just lose money. You can see that down here. They just lose money a lot. Very inconsistent. They always lose money. I don't like company. Oh, no, wait, that's EOC. Of course. So I don't like that. But let me see here. So these guys, they just started losing money. Yeah, maybe this could come back. Maybe it could bounce. If you're doing a commodity bet, I mean, just to get to the first fib, it's $7.92. So if you've got a good thesis behind why this is going to take off, this could be a good bet just without looking at options. It might be something. I might just do a deeper research into the commodity space because again, this could apply on a number of companies within the sector. So it might be interesting. So I'll do some research on Matterport, EOC, and our mineral company here, and just see what kind of opportunities. Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking into the OC again. I got to get on the right freaking chart. So yeah, not nearly as exponential, but you could get up to maybe 22 pretty easily on this one. And it does bounce hard. If history says anything, these V-shaped bottoms are intense. And so if we're in one of these, you're right, just from a technical standpoint alone, like just look at that bounce. You could definitely, I see what you're saying here. You could see where it would at least try maybe to get to the .618. That's another bingo card at the 38 range, just off of technicals and technical history. But again, I think you have to, fundamentals need to line up too. And I just don't know if they're going to. I think China's going through a lot more pain than people realize, and that they're going to be exporting deflation for a while trying to pump their market. But yeah, I'll still take a look. Looking for tickers to diversify portfolio and part gains from crypto and tech. Thoughts on DHR? Well, first off, I wouldn't like cash might be a good place to part gains. And again, finding companies like PayPal that have been down for 3 years and are down 80%. I think those are good investments to park your gains. But I can take a look here. So DHR, I don't think I have that one. I'll try and see if I can find it. Nope. Okay. Let me add that in the list. Let's pull it up. DHR, Danaher Corporation. Wow, that's a steady Eddie for sure. And I see why you talked about parking money in it, because it doesn't take it long to rebound. 50% drops and then just take off again. So what do these guys do again? I don't know this. Health and tech. No wonder. We do have an aging population still, so that could be a good argument. Yeah, I kind of see what you're saying on this one. Oh, and I'm going to do something else. Whales and alphas. I told you guys that you're going to get alphas get 2 stocks and whales get up to 3, right? If they request something. I'm also going to start prioritizing that by, I think I can at least give you guys emoticons. Like I could give whales a whale, and I could give the alphas, I'll probably give you like a wolf or something. So you could do your emoticon and the stock symbols that you want, and I'll actually know that it's only you that can do that. So that will make it to where I don't have to go just based off trust. But so if people do 2 stock requests, if you don't have a wolf, or if you're asking for 3 and you don't have a whale emoticon with it, I won't do it. I'll just do the first one. So, but that'll make it to where, again, like the people who support the most are the ones that benefit. All right, let me see here. DE, deer. Yeah, let me take a look at that too. So these guys, Danaher, wow, massive drop in revenue. What is that about? That's a shocking drop, actually. What is this? Diagnostics and research. I don't know, man. I'd have to do, if this chart just looked like steady Eddie and great, then that would be fun. And this would, I would say maybe, yeah, look at parking some money in here. But I don't like seeing declining revenues very often. And I guess they're netting what, $1 billion? They're 188 billion, 40 PE in a sector that could do better, but their cash flow is declining. I don't know, man. Again, it's just like, it goes to one of those things like institutional ownership, bleh, insider activity. Not that interesting recently. More selling than buying in Q1 of 2024. Yeah, I don't know. This doesn't look that interesting. The chart looked interesting. The chart looked great. I don't know if it justifies. I don't know if 188 billion is justified with 1 billion in net. Maybe it is, but how much more upside is it going to get? It already had a good pump here. I don't know. I prefer PayPal. I would prefer PayPal. I'd prefer Palantir because you got the, if there's war, maybe it's a hedge narrative. I would stay in Bitcoin miners and in crypto for another year. I wouldn't get out before that. So I don't know. All right, ABC, what's up, man? Have to miss this one. It's my birthday. I'm in Europe time, so I'll be drinking beers with my friends soon. Enjoy the stream. Awesome, man. Hope you have fun and happy birthday. All right, Alak. Tesla, will they benefit from FASB accounting rules? Yes, they do, but it's just such a small amount of money. I don't think it's going to matter at all with their earnings at all. Learning a lot and wanting to, Lisa Marie, learning a lot and wanting to enter into some leaps soon. Would you please give us your take on how or where you would enter leaps on PayPal and Hood currently? I would get into PayPal personally, and this is not financial advice because I'm a high school dropout and not a financial advisor. I think that is on the bingo cards. I'm not sure if that's 1 or 2 for anybody who's still playing, but I would be looking at, for PayPal, like the January 2026. I would be going out of ways, and I think those are 95 strike that I'm in. But watch my Options 101 video. It has really great information on there, and it shows you some tools that you can use to visually understand your risk to reward or an approximation of it. So I would understand that. But Hood has already run a decent amount, so I don't know that I could recommend options when some of the people that are in that got interested in them are already up 1,000%, and I'm personally up 600-700 at times over the last couple of weeks. I just can't tell people that options are interesting with that. They could do well over the short term. Stock is probably a safer bet, but for PayPal, I think that could run a lot, and you could get a 5-10x multiplier. So watch my PayPal video to see what I was kind of thinking about for PayPal. Maybe think January 2026 with the 95 strike or something like it after you watch the Options 101 video and make up your own mind. That's what I would do, Lisa. Could you take a look at SE, Dennis Neuber? Could you take a look at SE? It has been slowly working its way back up over the last few months. Let me take a look. I think I have that one. Let me see. Yeah, I do. Okay, cool. Always nice when I have them. Oh yeah, C Limited. I think this is one I looked at. What I think $32 billion roughly, right? And it's hitting peak volumes, and that's why it's retracing a little bit. Let's just look at the financials because I don't remember them right off the top of my head. But Amit, which Amit? Just Amit? Just another Amit. How many Amits are there? I don't know. Just wanted to appreciate you for keeping it 100 at all times. Thank you, Amit. Whichever Amit you are, I appreciate you, sir. Revenue for C Limited, 3.6 billion, $31 billion company, and they haven't been making money recently. And the shares are all over the place. A lot of weird stuff in this chart. Let's go back here. Activity. What do we see? Institutional ownership ticked up a little bit recently. Estimates are maybe getting back to profitability and revenue to go up a little bit. But I don't love that when you get a 236 PE ratio. I don't love this. I just don't know what is it for? Singapore internet retail. Again, like if these guys are coming out with something cool, I don't remember from our last conversation, but it's already run a little bit, and I just don't understand like how the PE is justified for this. But I also don't know a lot about the company, so I can't tell you much more than that. All right, let me get down here. I have multiple strikes and expirations on CLSK Leaps. I have a 15 call and a 25 call. Oh, I'm assuming those are the strikes. January 2025. Okay. I also have some 37 calls for January 2026. See, I tell people this with miners, I don't like January 2026 because this cycle will be over before that. And there's going to be people that realize that shit. So I would not look at January 2026 as a point of safety at all. If anything, I think there might be June of 2025 calls. I haven't looked at them. I would be more interested in that, but I own nothing in regard to options for Bitcoin miners right now because I just don't think the risk to reward is worth it. I owned them when CleanSpark was in the dollars, when MicroStrategy was like at 100 and something, whatever it was for the low. I had options going long. Same with Mara, I think. I can't remember what my entry was, but it was stupid low. But I wouldn't be doing that now personally. I think it's just better to own the stock. The stocks are going to go up 3 to 5x the underlying asset. So to me, it's like, why wouldn't you just focus on that instead of the options? So I don't know. Again, I don't like January 2026. Not financial advice, but I wouldn't be in those. I would rather be in June of 2025. And I don't even know if I'd be in options right now. If we get a good swing higher, like if Bitcoin really takes off and does what I say, like going to 92,000 in a month here or 2 months, whatever, it doesn't really matter. If we get a really big swing higher, I personally would get out of options. I just don't like to see people adding unnecessary risk. You should have been doing that a year ago. All right, Mike again. Should a person not carry options too far into the money? You're awesome, by the way. I love watching your market recaps. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so again, kind of the same thing. If it's run really well and you've done really well, if for some reason there was this weird event and over the next 6 months and it kept Bitcoin from going higher, I don't think that's likely at all. Like I'm saying, maybe a 5% probability, right? But if that happened, you'd just be done because these things would bleed to zero overnight if that happened. So like, I don't know. Options are momentum based tools. So I want to catch them on a swing, like a multi-year swing if I can, right? Like Tesla at $100 was an easy options play for me. Meta in the 80s, easy options play for me. CleanSpark in the dollars, easy options play. Right now with miners, just don't do it. Like just use the tools when they apply. And options are so dangerous. Watch my options 101 video if you haven't. Assuming you have. All right, L Mossy Racing. Hopefully I'm saying that right. People already here chilling 2 hours before the start. Things getting serious. Yeah, I think people do that so that they can get in ahead, just to get their comment in here so that I can look at stuff. And I'm gonna have to start doing this the weekends too because I'm just looking down here and there's so many things I haven't gotten to yet. Holy crap. PayPal Tesla, David, PayPal Tesla Leaps entered. Cool. Ahad, Yo-Yo. Thanks for your hard work. Thank you. Justin, Doge. We can pull up Doge. I think that's getting smoked just like everything right now. Altcoins aren't doing as well. They're taking a breather. That could last for a little bit. I do like the price action on it though. Looks like it's establishing a base before it goes higher above peak volume. Looks good to me. I don't know when my fib is in here. Let me do, because it's just like Doge on Coinbase. I don't even know if this is like the best placement of a fib because it's just when they opened and went in. 2021. I guess that could be right. Let me just do it. I'll do it from here. It's probably not too far off base. Yes, that's actually perfect, right? Let me say this one. So you could see where we're consolidating right at the fib level. I actually think that's bullish, and I think that we'll go back up to 0.21 before you know it. Just whenever it decides. Whenever Bitcoin gives it a chance, I should say. Hey, Jesse, Snow, please and thank you, from Michael Myers. Michael Myers, like the guy who murders you? I'm going to say no. Going to say no on that one. All right, so which one is it, though? So, okay, I think I have that. Snowflake. This is the one, Palantir people hate this one. I really don't have, like, I don't care. personally. I don't have energy to hate stocks unless they're out of China because I hate communism. There you go. I think, oh, I already said China earlier, so that doesn't count for bingo. But yeah, I just hate communism and I love freedom. And I know that we don't have a perfect society by any means. There's obviously people on all sides of the political spectrum that are trying to take away freedoms for whatever righteous cause they believe in. But this country is hella fucking better than a country that will just lock your ass up and kill you because they can. En masse. They do that to people all the time. Or because you've got a certain religion, they'll harvest your organs or put you in prison while they send people to go live with your wife and children. Fuck that shit. Anyway, sure I got into China, but I did. So check that box. All right, so Snowflake, again, it's gotten beat pretty hard off the .382. They're way up the chain, dude. I'm trying to read messages from the way back machine. So I'm starting at the top and working my way down. That's why you guys aren't seeing the messages, because you'd have to scroll way to the top. But I start at the top and work my way down, and then I also try and keep up actively with chat. But otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it in order, and I want people to be able to see stuff in order. So the people that come here first and that try the hardest to get their stuff in first, they win, right? Like, that's how life works. It's capitalism. It's putting forth effort. It's all the beautiful reasons why people excel, because they try, even if they have it hard. There's people that still overcome odds and they don't act like little bitches and they just keep pushing forward. And that's admirable. So if you're at the top of the list, that's the way I work from. All right, so revenue's going up on Snowflake. Again, they just keep losing money. I think I looked at this the other day. They're estimating towards positive EPS, which is great, but they're a $52 billion market cap, so they better have some So here's the thing. They're like priced like Palantir, but they're not profitable. So that's what I have to say about Snowflake. It's not impressive. If this was a $10 billion market cap, I don't know if I could say it was a good deal when they're burning $169 million a quarter. So I think Snowflake is just trash from my perspective, and it deserves to be down here. That's that. All right, Grab, Liam, Grab, start nibbling on 2026 sleeps, currently off 80% from all-time high, recently had its first quarter gap profit. Southeast Asia-based, should benefit from China exodus. Well, you got me there. Uber plus fintech. That's interesting. I don't know if I've already looked at this one. I feel like I have, but I didn't know it was that. Maybe I just didn't know what I was looking at. Grab Holdings. Okay, yeah, we did look at this one, and I don't remember. It was on my list, but there's something I didn't like about it. So you filled in a lot of gaps for me on Grab because I didn't know. Like, you just spelled out a lot about what it is that I didn't know before. So thank you for that. Net income went positive. Okay, I remember looking at this. Estimates are looking positive. Activity, was there something I didn't like about this? Oh, it might have been the valuation. That's why I didn't touch it. Because it's a $12.4 billion valuation already. So it's kind of rich. So I do hear what you're saying. And maybe this gets better. I just want to see a larger net income because they're only bringing in $653 million a quarter, which sounds like, I mean, that is actually a decent amount of money. But the question is, can they turn that into greater profit? Because they only net income $35 million, and yet they're a company that's got a $12 billion cap. So I just don't know. It's not cheap, and that's the part of this equation that I don't love. So I think I might have said this before, but I think it could grind here for a little bit longer based on its cheap valuation to where it has to maybe have a couple of quarters of positive net income so that it earns the right to go higher. So I just think this could be like something like when I was looking at PayPal, where it's like, yeah, you could get into it now, true, but with this high valuation in the $12 billion market cap range, maybe it grinds sideways for 6 months. I mean, shit, it's been doing that, right? It's been doing that just straight up sideways for a while, since April 2022. or could springboard higher. I do like the fact that it's above this volume. So as like a trade or something, if the multiple is right, and I can just double check the multiple. I feel like I didn't like it for that reason. Maybe I need to publish my results a little bit better. I don't always follow up with my results, and then I forget them, right? So that's not great. So I probably need to get a little more orchestrated or organized with that. But I don't like the $12 billion. All right, let me see here. Sentinel, PanW, DJ wanted PanW. Okay, let me look at that one. All right, so yeah, if you guys want your charts to be done sooner, then I publish the market recap earlier in the day. So come here and in chat, put in what you want me to look at, and then you'll stand a greater chance of actually having it happen during the session because there's more people joining and you want yourself to be at the top. First come, first serve. And again, I'm going to open up those weekend slots to try and help that too. Oh, this is the Nancy Pelosi stock. This is the one where they had issues. They got beat up really bad, like 30% decline or something. And then they started to bounce back. So EPS, again, outside of this crazy quarter, you can see EPS growth. That's nice. So maybe 250, 300 million net income. Next quarter forecast, 20% growth year over year, kind of a steady eddy, but a 45 PE, not crazy. And they have lots of cash, and their operating expenses are creeping. They're diluting shares a little bit. I don't love that. They're selling. Their insiders aren't buying as much as I would like. Institutional ownership's flat, but short interest is dropping. It's at levels where we're not really going to see a short squeeze. Revenue estimates, though, again, all that stuff looks good. But I don't know. I don't love the fact that their expenses are ramping at like a greater rate than their revenue. Stock-based comp is still high. It's not a bad stock, but it's a $93 billion company that can pull in 200 million a quarter. So again, it's about fairly priced, maybe a little overly priced. Seems to me like what we could be seeing is a left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and then maybe at least a drop to test the 287 or 250 range. Like, it just doesn't seem like this should go up a lot. It's just pretty fairly valued, in my opinion. All right, what do we got? Sentinel. Sentinel 1, please. Did I already do Sentinel? Going a little longer than I normally do. I'm going to try and make it at least to 4:45. I might see if I can make it 2 hours for these just to do a better job getting in here and trying to get through as many of them as I can. Sentinel 1, again, it's down. It's got a $7 billion market cap, and its financials look like what? Losing money. $72 million a quarter for a $7 billion market cap. They got cash. They don't have a ton of debt. Insiders are selling as much as they're buying. Institutional is increasing. We are guiding towards almost positive EPS. I mean, it might start going in the right direction, and it's got 40% growth. But it's got a $7 billion valuation, which to me still seems rich. Maybe it could do all right, though. I mean, it's in software, so you're gonna push for higher PEs if they go positive. But I just don't think, I don't know. For me right now, this isn't super interesting. It would have been more interesting down here in that $16 range, kind of like Grab, right? Like where it's down here, and yeah, maybe you come up to at least fill the 28 zone from 16. That seemed more interesting to me. I would need to see much improved earnings for me to be much more interested. All right, LW Crypto sold my FBTC today at 59, looking to either go longer MSTR or more miners. Heavy into BITF and CLSK. Any thoughts? I like Cypher on a pullback, not financial advice. All right, let me see. Do I have? All right, so OLAS, Baruch Noller, OLAS, Autonalis, please. It's Ken's Chicken Genius's big bet. All right, I've been talking to Chicken Genius actually lately, which is weird. He's been DMing me. He seems like an okay guy. He's just intense in his chat, but I get that. I mean, you guys have seen me, right? I sometimes can be intense and opinionated. Just ask my wife. She actually wears the pants in the family most of the time. But I do have opinions, and I can voice them here. Let me see. Was that Olas? Olas. What is Olas? Is this a coin? Can you tell me if this is a crypto? Can you tell me if this is a crypto, Baruch, if you're still around? I'm going to assume it is, okay? Oh, yeah. No, it is. Okay, I see it now. Autonalis. Yeah, okay. So this is a crypto. I don't know what the best... I did BitSmart. I don't know. If you guys have a weird, like... I'm going to try BitGet, maybe. I just don't know what has the highest volume. I'm going to assume BitGet. Okay, there we go. We got something here at least. How far back is this going? February 2024. So the thing is, I just don't know what exchange has the oldest data. And that's sometimes, and highest volumes. And that sucks, right? Because like, this is in November 2023. So we know that there's some there that's older. Maybe, was this a Uniswap? Uniswap might be this baby. Yeah, okay. I think we're going to the way back now. Okay, so this is, so I'm going to use Uniswap here. So you could see how it has multiple legs. We're like on the third one here, but grinding. This is a $241 million cap. I'll take a look and see what the trend-based fib extension is, but I just don't know. I don't really follow shitcoins that much because I don't care. Right? Like, I just don't give a shit about them. It would take a lot for me to give a shit about a shitcoin. Outside of just placing some bets and seeing where they are in a year. So the golden retracement zone, the fib-based trend extension, that's kind of where we're at. And this thing has went up a decent amount this year. Let's see what we're at. Just since October, we're up 700%. I don't know if this is going to be a really, if this has got some narrative. I mean, it doesn't even have to be real. If it has a narrative, it could go up more. But I've kind of already done my shit coins, and 750% is a lot. And could it go higher to 12 or 30 this cycle? Sure, but I just don't know anything about this crypto. I mean, this will, if the market's pumped, maybe it goes substantially higher. It's only a 241 market cap, so, but I don't know anything about it. That's all I can do, really. There's a chart. There's some levels. Look at them. All right. Oh, and thank you to the goat. YouTube broke. Thank you, man. All right, Jean. Docu chart request. Is this the, okay, docu. All right, I can do that. I will pull that up. See, I feel like I'm just getting to the ones, oh, I think I actually have this one. I feel like I'm just getting to the requests that happened before the stream. Any thought on FBTC, Fidelity Wise, or Origin Bitcoin Fund? I think that they've got a fund, and the ETFs are boring compared to MicroStrategy. And I don't have, I think I might have some money in a Bitcoin ETF, but it's just because I'm too lazy to move it. I personally would not be in Bitcoin ETFs at this stage. You could work into them later, but why would you be in them right now? Like when you could MicroStrategy it and get like an easy 2x versus the underlying asset. DocuSign. We used to use this for a few companies actually. When I worked for an urgent care, we'd use DocuSign, and then the last software company I worked for, we had a DocuSign. But I just know there's a lot of other products, and woof, that's just fucked, isn't it? These guys just fell. Everybody was so excited. 2021. Can you imagine buying this at 314 and just be like, sucks. But this makes for a great drawing for a trend-based fib extension, right? Because 2018 is really like probably the low you want to work off of. And then you got your high. Probably, I mean, you got your low, right? Look at this thing. It's testing it, and it's probably going to want to go higher here, unless the financials don't look good. I haven't looked at these guys in so long. I just don't know what their competition's like. And again, fundamentals matter. So let's see here. So revenue continues to climb, 712 million. What are they? They're a $12 billion company, 8% revenue growth. See, this is what happens. Their PE is so rich. 164, 18 forward PE, right? That's not as bad, but the current PE just sucks. And they just haven't had consistent profits. It looks like they're finally getting there, though. So that could be promising. And then, oh, I like this EPS guide for Q1 and Q2. I mean, maybe this is short interest is kind of falling off. There were people selling in Q4, more sellers, insider sellers. That's not, I don't love seeing that, but I don't know. Maybe this is like a steady eddy where it's getting better, but it does have a decent valuation at $12 billion, and the PE ratio is pretty high. It might start to work into that. It could just be a while before it breaks out. But if the whole market goes, man, you hit like some volume peak stuff around 73, then maybe it goes up to 149 if the whole market goes and if their business does okay. Love your work, Jesse. Happy to see you healthy again. I'm hopefully getting healthy, man. Trying really hard. I got gastroparesis and it sucks. It's just a way for doctors to say, like, we don't know why your food isn't processing and why you're in pain all the time and suffering. But here's a name for it. All right, BITF, Mikkel Hagen. I guess I'm a bit late, but BITF, if you get to it. I will get to that one real quick since Christian Soto asked for it too. All right, and then I'm probably going to stop after this. I feel like I did a lot. I made it pretty far, guys. I made it 1 hour and 45 minutes. That's a pretty good effort. It's a pretty good effort. So I'm going to take a breather, call it quits, maybe try and eat something. Wife was going to make some Wagyu steak, and I love it. So good. I didn't even know what Wagyu was till a few years ago, so that's how poor I used to be. Anyway, yeah, so this is what I think for maybe a high. My high is 40 on this one. I know that sounds insane. We're underneath the 200 moving average on the weekly, but I think once we get a good break above that, I think we test real quick back up to 381. That's my take on BITF. This one's going to move, guys. Good one to DCA into, in my opinion. $724 million cap. Financials, I actually like Cypher a little bit better. Maybe. Well, no, I can't say that. But here, Bitcoin production tabled off and is starting to increase. Revenue, 47 million. Bitfarms is a Canadian company, so they don't benefit by FASB, but they did have issues where they did a one-time write-off last quarter to basically front run some pain. But if you look at the trend here, it was towards net positive. So they have that going for them. They got a little bit in Bitcoin holdings. Oh, my friend Alejandro is going to update this for all the miners, guys. I asked him if he could update this to show Bitcoin held. Oh, he did already. Yeah, he did. Or no, in USD. So he has it in USD right now, but I don't love that because that's at the end of the quarter and Bitcoin can move a lot. So he's going to do two things. He's going to do held in USD, and then he's also going to show it to you the number of Bitcoin that they hold. So that'll be coming here, I think, pretty quick. But again, you can kind of see here, he's got his extra charts. So you can see the Bitcoin mined. You can see the produced per day. Let's see what other interesting things we might have. Institutional ownership is climbing, but it's doing that for a lot of miners. I might have to do some comparisons using Alejandro's work here to compare institutional ownership by miners. And maybe like short interest and insider activity and revenues. Oh, that might be fun. With this tool, you can actually create your own charts. So I might actually do some of that because this could be fun just to see the comparisons between all of them visually. And I might save those. That way I can just bring them up more. So yeah, Lussy Picker, love your name. And love you too, man. Love Germany. Want to go back. Can't wait to go back. Beautiful place, man. People shit on Europe a lot. There are things not to like about Europe, like overregulation, some of them allowing just uncontrolled immigration. There's issues that come with that. It's got to be controlled. You got to do things smart. You got to make sure you have housing. You got to make sure you have programs. You got to be thoughtful, or you're just creating a mess. But Germany is a beautiful place, and there's a decent amount of things they do right. It was beautiful. I miss it. Yeah, if all you do is live in America and you've never traveled and you have a view of just America first and there's nothing better out there, um, people do things better in different places. We just happen to be, again, I think, the beacon of freedom because we have the largest military in the world, and we've been kinder than not. After World War II and dropping a nuke, we could have taken the world and said, "You're America now. Does anybody want a nuke on them? We own all of you." And most of the world would have fallen pretty quickly, but we didn't do that. We didn't do that. We didn't try to expand, and so we're not a horrible place. But yeah, so I'm going to probably do some fun stuff with charting here on that. How do we get Alejandro's SP app platform? This is it. I need to add this to the beginning of my videos. I got to go back and do that. I'll try and do it. This is visualstocks.com. This is his platform. It's at the top up here too, and I love it. Oh, I guess you can't see it though because I have that blocked. But yeah, it's a great platform. It's a really good one. Again, thank you for all the members that joined. I can't believe how many members we have. Say we, it's just kind of me. But 714, I think, at the time of this starting this stream. I don't know how many now, but just everybody that supports. I really love you guys and appreciate it. It's awesome that you do that. And it helps the channel. And I haven't really hired anybody yet, but maybe in the future I'll be able to do that. It'll be enough money to where I can, just pay somebody to do some of the busy work that I don't want to do. That way I can be more responsive. And I've been thinking about creating a website where I can at least or maybe I'll work with Alejandro or something. I don't know. I need to do something where the stuff I look at commonly, I can just have the TA charts there and available to you guys, so that you could see them and have access to them quickly and easily for all of the ones we go over. That way, again, you could just follow that chart. And the financials. Maybe I can work out something with Alejandro. If you're listening, I don't know, maybe I'll hit you up, man, because maybe it'd be cool if we could do some kind of thing, some kind of embedded link or something. I don't know. It'd just be nice if I could find a way to make it to where the charts I'm looking at, I could save that stuff for people and then quickly and easily pull them up, maybe even on your platform. I don't know. Well, maybe we can figure something out. If you can make my life easier and if I can provide you with more value, let's chat. All right. Love you guys. I think I'm done here. Almost 2 hours. I think that's pretty good. I think it shows that I must be getting healthier because I'm having more longevity. So that's cool. And I'm not coughing because I've had acid reflux eating my esophagus. So that's got to be promising. So anyway, I'm very focused on my health right now. So I'm going to try and really keep an eye on macro and what's going on. And then just trying to be responsive to people. But if I'm not posting as much on X, I'm only going to try and post maybe some of the big stuff. I might just slow down just a little bit because, again, if I'm not healthy, I'm not going to be much value to anybody, including my family. So that needs to come first. But I think I'll maintain probably a pace of what I'm doing right now. I kind of like it. And I do like doing the YouTube videos, at least with the market recaps. I don't know how many other streams I'll be doing with other YouTubers. I had some fun with that. I might do more of it. But at the same time, I just don't want to be on YouTube all the time and then losing track of what's going on. Because I think that would be a disservice to the people that are following me if I can't hopefully do a good job knowing what's going on and what's coming. I think that's the area where I need to spend the most time, and I think the people that watch the market recap are going to be the direct beneficiaries of that because it's so much easier for me to do this, and then the reward coming back to me, it helps recoup a lot of my time, which is beneficial, and so I think the people that watch the market recaps are going to be the biggest benefactors of anything I have to offer in the next year or two. Not that I'm not going to be on X, I will be, but I think you're the people that are going to benefit the most, hopefully, if there is a benefit. Can't promise anything. Anyway, love you guys. I think that's it. We got almost 2 hours. I will see you guys tomorrow. You have a good night. Bye.